We now turn to the daily coronavirus update. Let's listen in.
Another reminder that this virus does not discriminate. We must all do our part to stop the spread of COVID-19, especially as we head into a weekend that is normally celebrated with our friends and family. As San Antonians, we're a tight-knit community that loves our extended family. But this Easter, we need you to love your family from a distance and remember that we can still be together while we're apart. Only gather with members of your household. And by connecting a little bit differently this year, we can all ensure that we come together again for Easter next year. When the numbers are updated on our website tonight at 7 o'clock, we'll have now 615 cases of COVID-19 in our community, and that's up from 554 yesterday. We have 146 travel-related cases and 182 community transmission cases. 217 of those confirmed cases are the result of close contact with another person who is already positive for coronavirus. 70 cases now remain under investigation. We are grateful that 92 people in our city have fully recovered from the virus. Tonight, 85 people are being hospitalized for COVID-19, 55 of those are in intensive care, and 42 people are on ventilators. We wish them all a very speedy recovery. Judge.
Thanks, Mayor. You may remember, I believe it was Sunday, when the Surgeon General came on and warned us that we were entering our most difficult and saddest week. And he certainly was right nationwide. When you look at the death toll in a 24-hour period that ended this last Tuesday at 6 p.m., it was the highest that we ever had. We're experiencing deaths and we're experiencing problems here, not as much as it is in other parts of the nation, but we've got to keep vigilant on this. For those of you that are at home that have someone there that's showing symptoms, that may even have the coronavirus, I suggest you might want to take a look at Consumer Reports. There's some good information in there that you could use to help yourself. It's important, they say, if you're facing like that, to clean the surfaces that are frequent a lot, at least 3 times a day. Now, there's some household products that you have in your home that you could use. Bleach and hydrogen peroxide are certainly ones that you can use. And of course, we say over and over, clean your hands, warm water, and scrub hard. I want to give a special thanks to UTSA professor and researcher Doug Franks. They're playing a major role now in trying to find a cure to this terrible COVID-19 that we're facing. He accumulated over 250 formulas over a period of time, and he's now sending them to the medical branch in Galveston to help cure and develop a cure through using hydroxychloroquine. So hopefully that's going to play out right. Another good reason to stay home tonight. We have some high winds and hail and a storm coming at us if it keeps up like this. Both our emergency departments are working on it. You may want to secure anything that you may have in your front yard and make sure you bring your pets in for tonight. Let me say a couple of things about the upcoming election on July the 14th. There's some federal and state lawsuits that are pending that regards mail-in ballots. We expect to have a hearing on one of those cases on April the 15th. And the decision the court's facing is whether to extend the definition of handicap to include those who are fear contacting COVID-19 at the election site. At this time, the Secretary of State has not set any guidelines and has not made it clear what they intend to do. I want you to know I strongly support the scope of mail-in ballots and supporting the lawsuit, and I urge the Secretary of State to set guidelines. This will not only protect the voters and election officials against this terrible problem that we're facing with COVID-19, but it also expands voting rights for everybody. 250,000 of you all voted in the Democratic and Republican primaries this past March. We're getting ready for the runoff. Jackie Callahan, Bexar County election administrator, has 23,000 mail-in ballots that are ready to go. That was how many requested the first go-round. And she's also ordered another 100,000 envelopes if the lawsuit prevails and if the Secretary of State sets it up where we would be able to protect people with COVID-19 through this election. Again, thank you all of you for so much work that you're doing to help us get through this.
Thank you, Judge, and I agree. We have to make sure we expand access to mail-in ballots. And I also want to thank those letter carriers and postal workers who are delivering those ballots even through this coronavirus epidemic. I want to also take this opportunity to remind you that VIA has set a safe capacity limit of 16 riders on buses to ensure adequate social distancing, and that is 16 seated passengers, no standing allowed. It's recommended that you wear a mask in tight spaces for your safety and those around you. And if a bus hits maximum safe capacity, VIA will dispatch a special spacer bus to make sure that no one is left without a ride. As always, you can get the latest information on COVID-19 by subscribing to our text program. Just text COSA-GOV to 55000 or visit sanantonio.gov/COVID-19. Stay the course. We will get through this. And now we'll take some questions.
Mayor, you mentioned you had ordered about 2,100 more ventilators from the state. Do you have a status on when we will get those ventilators?
Yeah, we check every day on that. Right now, that request is with the state. We understand that the state has a cache of ventilators, and they are holding on to some of those for use in hot spots. But our request is with DSHS and the state emergency response. So we anticipate getting those ventilators when we need them.
Was there more, any other requests for other type of equipment besides the ventilators?
So we are working on capacity on a constant basis for PPE. All of the hospital resource capacity that we might need, equipment, personal protective equipment. We've been getting that in on a very constant basis, as well as the alternative care facility equipment, the hospital beds that you see at Freeman, which we are in the midst of standing up right now.
You know, I think we've done a good job of reaching out. There's 26 other cities. We reached out to every one of them. We shipped out a lot of the gear to them. Surgical masks for first responders to use. So I believe we're in pretty good shape on that. With respect to ventilators, we still have over 500 and some odd available. Our hospital population is not going up not much more than it was before. I think we may have a couple more people on ventilators, but we're in good shape now. So I would imagine the state's holding those. If we get in trouble or somebody else gets in trouble, they'll be ready to ship them.
I wanted to ask you about.
You can continue watching this daily briefing on KENS5.com, the KENS5 app, and the KENS5 Facebook page. So to recap, there are 615 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Bexar County. 92 people have recovered as far as deaths. That's unchanged at 20. The mayor says more ventilators are on the way, including personal protective equipment. Now, it was mentioned that we are in a crucial period right now in these next few weeks. So a reminder for Easter weekend to take the city and county's recommendations and only gather with members of your household. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.